Friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have taken the topic is Ernest Hemingway, and you know very well that this writer is very important for your competitive exam. So now I will start this biography about the Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway is the full name is Ernest Miller Hemingway. He was born 21st July 1899 and death July 2nd July 1961. Okay, and was an American novelist and short story writer and journalist known for a economical understated style that influenced later 20th century writers. He has been romanticized for his adventurous lifestyle and outspoken blunt public image. Some of his 7 novels, 6 short story collection and 2 non-fiction works have become a classics of a American literature, and he was awarded the 1954 Nobel Prize in the literature. So I hope this is very important. Okay, so Ernest Miller Hemingway was born already I have told you on July 21st 1899 in Oak Park, Illinois, affluent suburb just west of Chicago. He was the second of 6 children born in Clarence Edmonds. Hemingway is a physician, Grace Hall Hemingway a musician. When Clarence and Grace Hemingway married in 1896, they lived with the Grace's father, Ernest Miller Hall, after whom they named their first son. His parents were well educated and well respected in Oak Park and conservative community about which resident Frank Leolold Wright said, so many churches for so many good people to go to. His sister Marceline preceded him in 1898 and his young siblings were Ursula in 1902, Madeline in 1904, Caroline in 1911, Leicester in 1915. Grace followed the Victorian conventions of not differentiating children's clothing by gender, with only a year separating them. Ernest and Marceline resemble one another strongly. Grace wanted them to appear as twins. So, in Ernest's first 3 years, she kept his hair long and dressed both children in similarly freely feminine clothing. Grace Hemingway was a well-known local musician and taught her reluctant son to play the cello. Later, he said music lesson contributed to his writing style, as evidenced in the contrapuntal structure for whom the bell tolls. As an adult, Hemingway professed to hate his mother, although they shared similar enthusiastic energy. His father, Dr. Clarence Hemingway, taught him woodcraft during the family's summer sojourns at Windmere on Woolen Lake near Petoskey, Michigan, where Ernest learned to hunt face camp in the woods and lakes of northern Michigan. These early experiences instilled in him lifelong passion for outdoor adventure and living in remote or isolated areas. Hemingway went to Oak Park and River Forest High School in Oak Park between the 1913 and 1970, where he competed in a boxing, track and field, water polo and football. He performed in the school orchestra for 2 years with his sister Marceline and received good grades in English. During his last 2 years at high school, he edited the school's newspaper and yearbook. An yearbook name is Trapeze and Tabula. He imitated the language of a popular sports writers and contributed under the pen name Ringlander Jar and note to Ringlander of the Chicago Tribune, whose byline was Line O type. A remembrance garden to honor Hemingway was erected in front of a high school in 1996. After leaving high school, he went to work for a Kansas City Star as a cub reporter. Although he stayed there only for a 6 month, Star's style guide, which stated use short sentences, use short first paragraphs, use vigorous English, be positive, not negative, became a foundation for his prose. I will talk about the World War first, and that also he affected by the World War. Hemingway wanted to go to war and try to enlist in the USA Army, but was not accepted because he had a poor eyesight. Instead, he volunteered to Red Cross requirement effort in December 1917. He signed on to be an ambulance driver with the American Red Cross Motor Corps in Italy. In May 1918, he sailed from New York and arrived in Paris as the city was under bombardment for a German artillery. That June, he arrived at Italian front as a volunteer with the ARC. Contemporary documents sometimes described him with the honorary and courtesy titles such as a second lieutenant ARC, but he was not a commissioned officer in the United States Army. On his first day in Milan, he was sent to the scene of a munitions factory explosions to join rescuers retrieving the shredded remains of a female worker. He described the incident in his 1932 non-fiction book Death in the Afternoon. I remember that after we searched quite thoroughly for a complete dead, we collected fragments. A few days later, he was stationed at Fosalta di Py. Actually, that is that pronunciation may be going to there, but that I have tried. On July 8, right after bringing chocolate and cigarette from the canteen to men at the front line, the group came under the mortar fire. Hemingway was seriously wounded. Despite his wound, he assisted Italian soldiers to safety, for which he was decorated with the Italian War Merit Cross, Croce al Merito di Guerra, and with the Italian Silver Medal of a Military Valor. He was only 18 at the time. Hemingway later said of the incident, when you go to war as a boy, you have a great illusion of immortality. Other people get killed, not you. Then when you are badly wounded the first time, you lose that illusion, and you know it can happen to you. He sustained shrapnel wounds to both legs, underwent immediate operation at a distribution center, and spent 5 days at a field hospital before he was transferred for a Red Cross hospital in Milan. He spent 6 months at the hospital where he met Chink Dorman Smith. The two formed a strong friendship that lasted for decades. Hemingway fell in love with Agnes von Krowesky, a Red Cross nurse 7 years his senior. When Hemingway returned to the United States in January 1990, he believed Agnes would join him within a month and two would marry. Instead, he received a letter from her in March with the news that she was engaged to Italian officer. Biographer Jeffrey Meyer writers Agnes' rejection devastated and scared the young man. In a future relationship, Hemingway followed a pattern of abandoning a wife before she abandoned him. One of Hemingway's closest friendship from his Red Cross service was with the William Will Dawes Horn Jr., fellow ambulance driver in Italy. Horn was later a groomsman at the Hemingway first wedding and honorary pallbearer at his funeral. Horn preserved a personal archive of their correspondence, photographs, and recollections materials now housed at Princeton University Library. His return home in 1990 was a difficult time of a readjustment. Before the age of 20, he had gained from the war maturity that was at the odds with the living at home without a job and with the need of a recuperation. As a biographer, Michael C. Reynolds explains Hemingway could not really tell his parents what he thought when he saw his bloody knee. He was not able to tell them how scared he had been another country with the surgeons who could not tell him in English if his leg was coming off or not. In September 1990, he went a fishing and camping trip with the high school friends to backcountry of a hiking in Upper Peninsula. The trip became the inspired for his short story Big Two-Hearted River, in which semi-autobiographical character Nick Adams takes to the country to find solitude after coming home from a war. A family friend offered Hemingway as a job in Toronto, and with nothing else to do, he accepted. Later that year, he began as a freelancer and staff writer for a Toronto Star Weekly. He returned to Michigan the next June and then moved to Chicago September 1920 to live with the friends while still filling stories for the Toronto Star. In Chicago, he worked as an associate editor of the monthly journal Cooperative Commonwealth, where he met novelist Sherwood Anderson. He met Hadley Richardson through his roommate sister. Later, he claimed, I knew she was the girl I was going to marry. Red hair with a nurturing instinct. Hadley was 8 years older than Hemingway. Despite the age difference, she seemed less mature than usual for a woman her age, probably because of her overprotective mother. Bernice Kert, author of the Hemingway Women, claims Hadley was evocative of Agnes, but Agnes lacked Hadley's childishness. After exchanging letters for a few months, Hemingway and Hadley decided to marry and travel to Europe. They wanted to visit Rome, but Sherwood Anderson convinced them to go to Paris instead, writing letters of introduction for the young couple. They were married on September 3rd, 1921. 2 months later, Hemingway signed on as a foreign correspondent for a Toronto Star, and the couple left for Paris. Of Hemingway's marriage to Hadley, Mayers claimed, with the Hadley, Hemingway achieved everything he had a hope for with Agnes: the love of beautiful women, a comfortable income, a life in Europe. Edison suggested Paris because it was inexpensive and it was where the most interesting people in the world resided. There, Hemingway would meet writers such as Gertrude Stein, James Joyce, Ezra Pound, who could help a young writer up the rungs of the career. Hemingway was a tall, handsome, muscular, and broad-shouldered, brown-eyed, rosy-cheeked, and square-jawed, soft-voiced young man. He lived with the Hadley in a small walk up at 74 Rue du Cardinal Lemoine in the Latin Quarter and rented room nearby for work. Stein, who was the bastion of the modernism in Paris, became Hemingway's mentor and godmother to his son Jack. She introduced him to the artists and writers of the Montparnasse quarter, whom she referred as a lost generation, a term Hemingway popularized with the publication of The Sun Also Rises, a regular stay in Salon. Hemingway meet influential painters such as the Picasso, John Mairo, John Grace, and Luis Canotanilla. He eventually withdrew from Stein's influence, and their relationship deteriorated into literary quarrel that spanned decades. Pound was older than Hemingway by 14 years when they meet by chance in 1922 at Selvia Beach bookstore Shakespeare and Company. They visited Italy in 1923 and lived on the same street in 1924. The two forged a strong relationship in Hemingway. Pound recognized and fostered young talent, a Pound who had just finished editing T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, introduced Hemingway to the Irish writer James Joyce, with whom Hemingway frequently embarked on alcoholic sprees. During his first 20 months in Paris, Hemingway filled 88 stories for a Toronto Star newspaper. He covered the Greco-Turkish War, where he witnessed the burning of Smyrna, and wrote the travel pieces such as the tuna fishing in Spain, trout fishing all across Europe. Spain has the best, and I just taken and Hemingway and Hardy and their son, nicknamed is the Bombay, returned to the Paris in January 1924, moved into the apartment of the Rue Notre Dame des Camps. Hemingway helped to the Ford Max Ford edit the Transatlantic Review, which published work by Pound, John Dawes Poses, Bernos, Ilsa von Freitag, Loring Hoven, Stein, as well as some of the Hemingway own early stories such as Indian Camp. When Hemingway's first collection of the stories in our time was published in 1925, the dust jacket bore comments for the Ford. Okay, and Fitzgerald had published The Great Gatsby the same year. Hemingway read it, liked, and decided the next work had to be a novel. The year before, Hemingway visited the festival of San Fermin, Pamplona, Spain for the first time, where he became fascinated by bullfighting, and the Hemingway returned to the Pamplona again in 1924 and third time June 1925. That year they brought with them a group of American and British expatriates. Hemingway's Michigan boyhood friend Bill Smith, Donald Ogden Stewart, Lady Duff, twice Sedan, recently divorced, a lover, Pat Guthrie, and Harold Loeb. A few days after the feast ended on his birthday on July 21st, he began to write the draft of the Wood became The Sun Also Rises, finishing 8 weeks later. Few months later, in December 1925, Hemingway left to spend the winter in Scarenens, Austria, where Hemingway began extensively revising the manuscripts. Okay, so I think this is the enough for you, and Spanish Civil War. Hemingway had been following the developments in Spain since early in his career, and from the 1931 it became clear that there would be another European war. Hemingway predicted war would happen in the late 1930s. The Baker writes that Hemingway did not expect Spain to become a sort of international testing ground for Germany, Italy, and Russia before the Spanish Civil War was over. That's it. He arrived in Spain in a March with the Dutch filmmaker Joris Even, and Even who was filming a Spanish Earth. Now, I think it's not important. Next, I will talk about the World War II. The United States entered the war after the attack on a Pearl Harbor in December 1941. Back to Cuba, Hemingway lifted the pillar as a Q-boat and went on patrol for a German U-boats, and he also created a counter-intelligence unit headquartered in his guest house to surveil flankists and Nazi sympathizers. Okay, now that when he arrived in London, he met the Time magazine correspondent Mary Wells, with whom he became infatuated. Okay, and I will talk about the Cuba. Hemingway said he was out of the business as a writer from 1942 to 1945. In 1946, he married Mary, who had a ectopic pregnancy. 5 months later, Hemingway finally suffered a series of accident and health problems in the year following the war. In 1945 car accident, he injured his knee and sustained another head wound. A few years later, Mary broke her right ankle and then her left. A successful skiing accident in a 1947 car accident left Patrick with a head wound, severely ill and delirious. The doctor in Cuba diagnosed as gesture therapy has using there. Okay, and plane crash already I have a discuss in a January 1954 while Africa. Hemingway was almost fatally injured in successive plane crashes. He had a charted sighting seeing flight over the Belgian Congo as a Christmas present to Mary. On their way to photograph a merchant's force from the air, and the plane struck abandoned utility pole and was forced into a crash landing. Okay, now I will talk about the Nobel Prize. In October 1954, Hemingway received the Nobel Prize in the literature. He modestly told the press that Carl Sandburg, Isaac Dennison, Bold Berenson deserved the prize, but he gladly accepted the prize money. Okay, and so after the leaving Cuba in Sun Valley, Hemingway continued to rework the material that was published movable fist through the 1950s. In mid 1959, he visited Spain to research a series of bullfighting articles commissioned by Life magazine, and Life wanted only 10,000 words, but the manuscript grew out of the control for a first time in his life. He could not organize his writing, so he asked A.E. Hochner to travel to Cuba to help him. Hochner helped trim the life piece down to 40,000 words, and Scribner's agreed to full-length book version, and raised the sum 1,30,000 words. And finally, I will say that okay, Hemingway's health was further complicated by heavy drinking throughout most of his life, which erratic behavior at his head his injuries increased the effects of the alcohol. And neuropsychiatrist Andrew Farren 2070 book Hemingway Brain of for a forensic examination of Hemingway's mental illness. In her review of a book, B. Gale writes that postulates Hemingway suffered from the combination of a depression and side effects of a 9 serious consciousness confusions. And then she writes alcohol and sheer and writes that Hemingway consecutions resulted in a chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which eventually lead to a form of dementia, most likely dementia with the Lewy bodies. He bases his hypothesis on Hemingway's symptoms, considered DLB, such as the various comorbidities, and most particularly the delusions which surfaced as early as the late 1940s were almost overwhelming during the final Ketchum years, and Beagle writes that Farah's study is convincing and should put the end to the future speculations. And the writing style of following the tradition established by the Mark Twain, Stephen Crane, and Theodore Dreiser and other writers. Hemingway was a journalist before becoming a novelist. The New York Times write in 1926 of a Hemingway's first novel. No amount of analysis can convey the quality of A Sun Also Rises. It is a truly gripping story told in a lean, hard, athletic, and narrative prose that puts a more literary English to say. Sun Also Rises is written in the spare tight prose that made the Hemingway famous, and according to the James Nagel, changed the nature of American writing. And in 1954, when Hemingway was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature, it was for the mastery of the art of a narrative, and most recently demonstrated The Old Man and the Sea, that for the influence that he exerted on the contemporary style. Henry Louis Gates believed Hemingway's style was fundamentally shaped in reaction to experience of the World War. After World War First, and other modernists lost faith in the central institutions of a Western civilization by reacting against the elaborate style of 19th century writers, and by creating the style in which meaning this which meaning is established through the dialogues, through accents and silence, and fiction in which nothing crucial, at least very little, and is stated explicitly. I think that's